Hello to everyone and anyone watching this video. My name is Taja. Welcome back to my channel. So it is a new year, 2022, and a lot of people obviously make New Year's resolutions, new goals, new things they want to start and try out, and a lot of people include starting a YouTube channel in those goals. I remember back in 2019 I made that goal, and here we are today. One of the best resolutions I've ever made. And many people who make these resolutions to start a YouTube channel in 2022 obviously need to do research, because it's obviously quite a big project, big hobby to start, and it takes a lot of research to get it right. We want to be able to grow a successful channel, and when people do this research they can come across videos from people who have successful channels. And one thing I've noticed with these videos from successful channels is they'll say things like, anyone can start a channel right now and be successful, anyone can grow a channel. And yeah, that is true, but it's not that simple. So I've been doing this for a while, and I've come to realize there are 3 factors that go into making a successful channel. And when I say successful channel, I mean, like, you know, you have a good strong following, you're monetized, like this is a proper solid hobby. The 3 factors I would say goes into making a successful YouTube channel is hard work, so that's like giving all your time and energy into making content and editing and putting it out and stuff like that. Then there's like strategy, hacks and tips and tricks to help boost your growth on YouTube, you know, how to hack the algorithm and working smart instead of working hard, you know, stuff like that, how to market your video so the algorithm picks it up. And those 2 factors are so valid and so important. However, there is a 3rd factor that I've noticed, and it is a really big factor, but no one ever talks about it. People need to be aware of this factor when they're starting a YouTube channel and when they're growing a YouTube channel, because I think it's really unfair to say how easy and how simple it can be to grow a YouTube channel when this factor can really hinder people's growth on YouTube. And this factor is privilege. I know that people get so triggered by the word privilege. I've actually taken the time to write out 6 disclaimers. There's no other disclaimers you're going to take away. The one overarching disclaimer I say is to please watch the whole video and listen to all the points I make before being mean or assuming that I'm going to say something I'm not going to say. I really don't want this video to come off as me being bitter. I mean, my channel is doing okay. I have over 1k, but I'm not monetized yet, and considering the fact that I have been doing this consistently at this point, I think is pretty much my 3-year anniversary now. I put so much time and effort into my channel. Considering how much effort I put into this channel, I feel like I should be a bit further along. I know with me, I'm really bad at marketing my videos for the algorithm to pick up, and I do videos that aren't in trend, or my titles aren't titles that people would search for, so it doesn't get picked up. I know I'm really bad at that, but I also know that privilege probably also affected how well my channel has done a bit. However, I don't want this video to come across as me complaining or me only making this video because I'm upset because I'm not monetized and I don't have 100,000 subscribers, because this is not that at all. I mean, okay, maybe I'm a bit better. Maybe I'm a tiny bit better, I'm not gonna lie, because I've put effort into this channel. This factor and this issue is so much bigger than myself and so much bigger than my channel, and it can be really frustrating when, you know, you're putting a lot of energy into something like YouTube and you're seeing other people growing and doing really well, and it's really easy for them. And I know for me to an extent, and other people with small channels, privilege has played a part in a smaller growth. If you are going to look at this from the lens of me being better, then I would invite you to watch a video by Tiffany Ferg. She's a commentary YouTuber, and she's made a video similar to this. No, I didn't steal this video idea from her. I actually briefly mentioned this topic. I made a video back in I think March or April. It's like a small YouTuber day in the life, and I very briefly mentioned this topic, and ever since then this whole idea has been in my head. Maybe if you're struggling to take in what I'm saying because I'm a small YouTube channel, then I would invite you to watch her. She has a larger channel and is more successful, and it might be easier to hear what she's saying and to absorb it better. I'm not saying that anyone with a large audience or a successful channel has only done well because they're privileged. I am saying that a lot of these people probably have done so well because they've also had benefit of privilege. I'm also not saying that anyone who has a successful channel, especially if they have had privilege help them, I'm not saying that they don't deserve their YouTube success. I know a lot of people, like I said, who have the privilege, but they also are really good editors and they're really entertaining to watch, and you know, they're really smart with how they market their videos, and that's how they've grown. I'm not saying that people who haven't found success on YouTube, myself included, aren't privileged. With the word privilege, is a very broad term. In this video I'm going to be talking about specific privileges. Please take that into consideration. I'm not talking about general privilege. I'm going to be talking about specific types of privilege throughout this video. I think that's all the disclaimers. I'm going to be really careful to like try and say my points as clearly as possible. If you do want to discuss this and anything I say in this video, please very respectfully, very kindly leave a comment so we can discuss whether you agree with something or you have an opinion on something, or maybe you disagree on something I say. If you do disagree, like I said, please say it nicely and respectfully, and we can have a little nice conversation if that's what you want. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below like I just said. And yeah, let's start the video. So I'm gonna be splitting this video up into two sections: starting a channel and growing a channel. So the first section is starting a channel. I think the main privilege that comes from starting a channel is financial privilege. This is something that no one talks about. Having a YouTube channel is so expensive. If you think about all the equipment that goes into making a channel, and the people who make videos, like anyone can start a channel, probably don't even think of, that doesn't make it accessible. First of all, a camera. I had no idea just how expensive cameras were until I had a channel. Before I had my camera, up until like 2020, like beginning of 2020, I used to film on my old phone. It was an iPhone 5 SE, and then after that I got this phone and I started filming all my videos on this for about a year. This is the iPhone 7 Plus. Sometime in early 2021 I got my Canon G7X Mark II. So for a lot of the videos that say anyone can start a channel, all you need is like a camera, a good phone. This phone is expensive. iPhones are expensive. If you want to get a good phone, I'm not even going to talk about cameras just yet, but I'm talking about phones because that's quite accessible. Well, accessible to a lot of people. If you want to get a good phone that has a good camera in the phone, you probably have to get an iPhone. I pay £40 a month for this, and I mean, I have a job, my finances are okay, that it's not like too much of a hassle, but like £40 a month is a lot of money. This isn't even like close to one of the newest phones, like I don't even know what one now, iPhone 13 I think. The quality in this isn't like the best. It's okay, but it's really not the best. If you are familiar with my channel, I make like monthly vlogs, like monthly recaps of every month, and I film those videos on this, and the quality isn't amazing at all. Like, people don't consider the fact that like, yeah, you could like use your phone, but like if you don't have a good phone, then how are you gonna make good videos? The better quality your videos, the more people are gonna want to watch, because obviously YouTube is such a visual thing. The better your phone is in terms of the camera, the more you're probably paying for it, the more expensive it is. And also, like, not everyone even has a phone, or even has like a phone good enough to film on, that's like worthy of like posting videos on YouTube. Like, people just assume that everyone has a phone, but not everyone has a phone, or everyone has a phone with a camera or a good camera. And then with the camera I'm filming on now, I'm filming on the Canon G7X Mark II. I actually got this on eBay, and this is used. Let me actually go on eBay now, because I couldn't afford like the actual thing, and that's why I filmed on my phone for so long. Like, cameras are so expensive. I'm pretty sure I got it for like £280. Alright, shit, I got this for £345. I'm sorry, like, I was extremely lucky. I mean, I wasn't like the most like financially like thriving at that time. Not everyone has £345 lying around to be able to get a used, let me really emphasize, a used camera, so they can have better quality videos. They've got bills to pay, they need to be able to spend the money on food and stuff like that. I'm gonna put on the screen how expensive it is on the actual Canon shop to get the camera that I'm using. That's like a crazy stupid amount of money. That's like a lot of money for a lot of people, and not a lot of people have that lying around to just be able to like buy a camera so they can film decent quality videos. And at the end of the day, you could go for cheaper options so that you can be able to afford it, but then you're going to be sacrificing quality. The visual quality of it is such an important thing, and the better quality your videos are visually, the more likely people are going to want to watch, the more pleasing it is to watch, and the more people will subscribe and they'll continue to watch. Next is editing software. The standard YouTuber editing software is either Final Cut Pro, it's £300 I believe, or the other one I think is Adobe Premiere Pro or Premiere Rush, I don't know the difference, but I think it's a subscription of like 200 and something. I'll try and get screenshots of all the prices so like you can see. But a lot of people say, you know, especially if you're new to YouTube and editing, I'll just, you know, edit for free using iMovie. Are they considering the fact that not a lot of people can use iMovie because not a lot of people have MacBooks or like Apple computers or laptops because they can't afford it? I don't even know the cost of a MacBook. I'm pretty sure it's around like the 1,000 mark, give or take. If you don't have like an Apple laptop lying around, you can't use iMovie. I currently have a, I don't know the make of my laptop, but it's not a MacBook obviously. I have hunted and hunted and hunted for good editing software on my laptop for ages and there are none. They're all shit. If you can't afford to spend your money on a good editing software, there are no free ones that are good. If you don't have a MacBook, you can't use iMovie, which is probably the best free editing software that there is available on laptops. Fun fact, while we're on the subject of editing, my old iPhone I was talking about before I got this one that I used to do all my filming on, I used to edit my videos on this app I found, like this random app I found on that phone, and at the time it was free. I don't know what happened in between me first finding that app when I first started using it and when I got this phone. I found that this app now charged you, if you wanted to use all the features, it charged you £70. Up until the end of 2020, I continued to use that old crappy iPhone to edit all my videos, and I've made some pretty, not even to like gas myself up, but I've made some pretty good videos. And imagine how small this, like the screen is on an iPhone SE, and it was hard, but I did it because I couldn't really afford to spend £70 to use a big phone to edit my videos. Unfortunately, because that phone is so old, the actual phone is fine but the app crashed and I couldn't use it anymore, so I had to like uninstall it and reinstall it, and when I reinstalled it, it then started showing the paid version. So like, fuck it, I'm gonna just pay for it because it's like the best one for me and it works so well, and I am at a point now where I can afford to spend £70 a year, which is decent. And considering the fact that like all the big editing softwares are like £300–200, it's not that bad. But I mean, it's still a lot of money, seeing as like there was no point in continuing to use my old iPhone because the only reason I was using it was because the version of the app was free. I decided to buy this, and this cost me £189 or 100, like close to £200 basically. Again, having to spend money on equipment to be able to edit, it's expensive. Luckily I was in a position where I could afford it, and editing has been so much easier with it. But the fact that I went so long editing on such a really crappy device just because I wasn't willing to put the money into that. And for some people it's not even a case of not being willing to. For some people they just can't do that because they don't have the financial capabilities to do that. It's something that people need to think about when they're saying generalizing statements like anyone can start a YouTube channel, because not everyone has a MacBook, not everyone has a good quality computer, not everyone has a good quality tablet or a phone that they can edit on, and people just need to take that into consideration. Because I think so, especially with like younger kids as well, like I think a lot of younger kids aspire to start their YouTube channels at a certain age, and if their parents can't afford these things for them, they may feel the type of way. I know actually, in fact, I wanted the channel so long before I actually started my channel, but because I didn't have the equipment to start a YouTube channel, I didn't do it. Some other privileges that people also don't think about is time and environment. YouTube is honestly so time consuming. It's a good thing, I love it. I think it's really important to understand how much effort you have to put into it and how much time and energy you have to put into it. And a lot of people, you notice that they quit very quickly because they realize that like it's fun and whatever, but it's so much effort, and like for a long time you don't see the payout. So obviously with like things like school, uni, work, that is something that can affect how much time and effort you're able to put into YouTube. And conversely, if you are dedicating all your time into YouTube, then those things can be affected. I remember in my last year of uni, back in lockdown, I was putting all of my energy into making videos. I was posting 2 videos a week and I was barely doing uni work. I don't know how I graduated, to be honest, because all my energy was going into YouTube. Even now, to be honest, like I have a part-time job and I would say I put like as much time into YouTube, even maybe even more time into like filming and editing as I do into my job. And not everyone has the time to be able to put into having a channel, not everyone has that privilege. Living situation is a big thing that can affect if you can start a channel, because if you're not in a nice environment, if you don't have your own space. I mean, I recently moved into this room. This is my own room, but for a long time I didn't have my own space in my room. So ever since I graduated until like a month ago when I moved into this new room, having a YouTube channel was so tough because I shared with my sisters and it was really hard to be able to have the time and privacy to film. When I was doing the bulk of my YouTube channel, when I started my channel, I was at uni, so luckily I had my own room then, so it wasn't that hard then. But being home and having to try and film was really difficult. If you don't have a nice living situation, or like, you know, maybe you live somewhere really noisy, maybe you don't have a nice big house and you have like really loud members of your family, then it's hard to make a channel. Also, if you don't have the privilege of a supporting like home environment where you don't feel you can tell your family, or if you did tell them they wouldn't care or they wouldn't respect that you're starting a channel and would need like the space or the time, then that's obviously another thing that can affect whether you're able to start a channel or not. These are some things to think about before you start a channel. So yeah, I think that's it for starting a channel. So now we're on to growing a channel. So the first privilege that can help you grow your channel that people don't talk about is pretty privilege. And I'm using pretty privilege in a broad sense because I guess when people first think of pretty privilege, they're thinking like how pretty someone is, which definitely is a point. If you are good looking, you are more likely to have people subscribe to you, because obviously people like looking at beautiful things. There's actually science that backs up the fact that people prefer good looking people. Like, it's an evolutionary thing. I'm in my like psychology graduate like zone right now, but like according to the evolutionary theory of like relationships, whatever, people would seek out mates that were more attractive because it was associated with good health and youth. You would be able to have good genes to be able to like continue your line of offspring. So like it's actual like science behind liking people who are attractive. Visual and audio are the two like senses that are used when like viewing YouTube content. So it's really important that you like what you're looking at. If you do fit the beauty standard, it's going to be a lot easier for you to excel. People like looking at things that they deem as beautiful, and if you are stereotypically someone that people deem as beautiful, people are gonna watch. But also with pretty privilege, that can also go into editing and the quality of video. So I'm not going to talk about like the quality of a video because I already spoke about that in the starting a YouTube channel section, but in terms of how your videos look, how aesthetic they are, how well edited they are, being able to have the equipment and the capabilities to produce aesthetic content is hard, you know what I mean? Being able to edit well is definitely a skill and like down to hard work and again strategy as well. But if you are a new creator, being able to have the privilege to take the time to learn to do that, if it's not something that comes to you naturally, can be hard. And if you don't have the time or the equipment to be able to edit aesthetically, you'll be able to like make really good content, then that can set you back. Okay, so in this part I was listing a few people that came to mind who are pretty and or are really good editors, but I decided I'm not gonna say who I mentioned, just because like I said in the beginning, I don't want people to think I am saying that the people who have this pretty privilege don't deserve their YouTube success. I don't want to come across as shady or anything, but I'm sure you can think of your own examples. But I do wonder, if we were to take someone who had the potential to edit like them, but maybe didn't have the equipment to be able to edit like them, or maybe wasn't as attractive, if they started a channel, would they see the same results in their growth as those creators? Maybe not. But like I said earlier, I edit on an app, and I think like even for doing it myself, my videos are decently aesthetic. However, I know I could probably make crazy good aesthetic videos. I feel like my editing could go so much further and be so much better if I had the editing equipment that these big YouTubers had. If I was able to get a Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro or whatever the other ones are. I couldn't get a Final Cut Pro because I don't have a MacBook, like I said, and I'm not willing to pay like £1,000 to get one. I don't want to talk about this a lot. In fact, I'm not even going to do the speaking, and I kind of covered this in the whole pretty privilege thing, but white privilege is also something that does go into it. I think it does kind of intertwine with the pretty privilege thing. I remember when I first discovered Kelly Stamps. We all know who she is. She's a very wonderful content creator on this platform. I remember when I first discovered her and I was binging all of her videos, and I came across a video that was like the truth about being a YouTuber, like the struggles of having a channel. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm gonna insert the clip here because I remember watching this clip was like a turning point for me in my channel, because before I didn't really consider, I mean, it's something obviously when you're black, it's something that like you always have in the back of your mind, but I think hearing her say it really hit home to me that like just with any situation that is affected by the colour of your skin, if you aren't white, then you have to do more.
White people get clicked on more often. They just do. It is a fact. I have to work twice as hard as my white counterparts to maintain interest on my channel. At first glance, when we go on YouTube, we are looking at the thumbnails in the search. We make assumptions about people. We click on pretty people, people with nicely edited thumbnails. People will watch knowledgeable people no matter what their ethnicity is. There really is no reason why I can't be successful on YouTube and have over 1 million subscribers. I just have to work twice as hard as other girls on here because, you know, I have to work double time to stand out when you don't look like the classic YouTube sensation.
I remember watching this video, and I think from the point that I watched this video, it was back in April 2020, and I think pretty much all my videos before then are not good, but I think watching this really inspired me to really up my game when it came to editing. Take what you want from that clip, but it's something to think about. Okay, so next is content. I feel like with YouTube, maybe I'm having like tunnel vision and thinking of like the kind of YouTubers and YouTube channels that I watch, but especially with vloggers, this I guess is more so with like vlogging kind of like content, or like videos that aren't just like sit down videos. The point I'm about to make is more so people who like vlog or like show their lives in some way. For me, when I'm watching YouTube channels, I like watching them so I can escape reality, you know what I mean? I want to just completely forget where I am, and I want to go into the life of someone else and just be a part of their life for 10-20 minutes, however long their video is. The more YouTubeable their life is, the more likely they're going to be watched. And I feel like there is a privilege in being able to have a YouTubeable life. That's not a real word obviously, but when I see YouTubeable, that's really hard to say actually, YouTubeable life, when I say that, what I mean is videos, you know, people who live in like really cool cities or really cool places, or you know, they have loads of free time. I guess it also is a cycle of, if you are a full-time creator and you don't have like a 9 to 5, then you have more time to like vlog yourself doing like your hobbies and stuff, rather than doing the mundane, you know, 9 to 5 work in an office thing. But you know, you see a lot of people like in cities and they film themselves. You know, if you live in like New York, there's loads of New York vloggers. If they live in London, if they live in Paris or LA, people want to see other people living in these cool exciting cities, because it's like fun to watch, like especially if you're like, for example, in a small town. You know, people dream of, oh, big city, what's it like, all the excitement and the lights and like all the stuff, you know, people want to see that. But cities are expensive. I live in London, and to be honest, again, like I said earlier, like privilege is not the only thing that has affected my channel and affected my growth. Like I'm not good at when it comes to content, because I do not capitalize on the fact that I live in London enough, because if I was to do that more, I'm sure people would want to watch that, because people want to see the city, people want to see stuff like that. But yeah, like I was saying, the only reason I live in London is because I was born and bred here. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be able to afford living in London, but I live at home, so that's the only reason why. A lot of people can't afford to go to big cities because they're expensive, and so again, without those financial privileges to be able to go somewhere and live in a city, your channel can suffer. Bringing in Kelly Stamps again, I remember, and she's said this herself, this isn't just me like saying shit, that's not true, but she has said that since she left New York, so she used to live in New York, I think she comes from LA, and then she moved to New York, and then she went back to LA, and then she went back to New York, and now she lives in Texas/Florida. And she said herself that since leaving New York, her views have gone down because living in Texas and living in Florida aren't as marketable, you know, those aren't popular enough places. And for her, it's not really a privilege issue, because she made the decision, she has the money to be able to live in NYC. It was just her personal decision to leave. But for someone else who hasn't got the privilege to be able to move to NYC, then you know, their channel can suffer. Obviously it depends if you actually want to live in a city, but if you want to live in a city and you are able to afford living in a city, maybe your content would do so much better than it's doing.
Okay, so here I was giving another example of YouTubers who live YouTubeable lives, but I listed names again, and like I said before, I don't want to do that. But basically I was talking about another genre I discovered and I quickly came to love this time last year when it was like in the depths of lockdown, the third lockdown I think, in January 2021, and it's the genre of like these women who live in the middle of nowhere in nature. So yeah, I was just saying that, but I'll let Taja in the video explain my point.
Obviously being stuck in my four walls, one thing I was craving was freedom, and being able to watch these women live in these areas. They lived like literally in the middle of nowhere by themselves, so they didn't have the issue of having to like be stuck at home all day. They can like roam around and travel. I remember watching them and just being so envious of them and craving them, and they literally have become my comfort channels because like watching them, craving that freedom and wanting that. The amount of times I would watch their videos and the vlogs and think, oh my god, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna just move to the countryside, I'm gonna get my own little cottage and I'm gonna be happy and stuff. But can I afford that? Can most people afford that? No. I don't know about you, but I couldn't afford to be able to build a house in the middle of nowhere, like all the materials, all the, I don't know, I mean I don't even know how to build a house, so I mean even that in itself is gonna be an issue. Again, you could even say that's privilege, I don't know, but I mean yeah, I guess it is actually having the time to be able to build a house. Not everyone has the privilege to be able to buy a little cottage or to be able to build their own little house. Most people have bills to pay and have to put their money elsewhere so they can live. Another genre I guess that goes into this YouTubeable life would be travel creators. I mean I guess like if your job is like for example travel blogging and you can like sustain money from traveling, then that's like obviously equivalent to having a job that's a 9 to 5, but instead of 9 to 5 you're traveling for your job. But I mean to be able to get to the point where you can get money from being able to blog or slash vlog your travels, again that's like similar to the privilege that goes into starting and growing a YouTube channel. If you don't have the finances to travel loads, how are you gonna grow? What I'm basically saying with the whole YouTubeable life is that people are less likely to watch you if you don't have a cool life. I mean my day-to-day life is very very dull. Like I spend most of my time working and like helping out at home. I rarely have time to do fun things. The shop looks a bit different. My storage filled up and I had to delete some stuff, but then I also had to go to Sainsbury's before it closed. Yeah, we've got a bit left to talk about, hopefully not too much because I'm kind of tired. I want to kind of wrap this video up. I feel like I've been talking for ages. What I was saying before the video cut out was the fact, what was I saying before the video cut out? I can't remember, it was quite a few hours ago. This problem pertains to people who do the kind of lifestyle vlog kind of content, and I guess if your channel is focused on sit down chatty videos, that isn't such a problem because in terms of filming it doesn't take that long. You can take like an hour out of the day to film a chat video. However, you shouldn't have to sacrifice doing content that you don't necessarily want to do just because you can't do that content. What if you don't want to do sit down chatty videos? What if you want to vlog but you can't vlog because of your lifestyle? And if you feel like the only way you have time to make videos is if you're doing sit down chatty videos, but that's not really what your heart desires, do you know what I mean? Another thing with the YouTube life as well, which I forgot to say, but I'm gonna add it in now, is also rich people. I mean this could kind of more so be related to people who have already got the success. I mean regardless if you're just starting out or if you're rich because of the YouTube channel. If you're rich, like you know, if you have a big mansion, nice room, you have a nice pool and you can do lots of rich people stuff, people eat that shit up. Like people want to see other people being rich. Most people aren't rich, so it's fun to see people who have these rich, glamorous, like extravagant lives. Okay, the last point is kind of probably the weakest point, to be honest. I did want to add it in. This personality. A lot of people find success because their personalities are so great. It can be hard to be able to, you know, show off a nice fun personality if your outside life isn't doing well. And I guess, you know, you get people who act happy on camera. Personally, I'm quite transparent in my videos. If I'm sad or I'm going through something, I'll say normally. But there has been, you know, I'm human, there has been times where I've pretended to be more happier than I actually am. I'm human, I'm sad that day, but I have a video to film and you don't want to see me being depressed. If you have a generally better quality of life, you know, if your mental health is good, if you're not dealing with certain stresses, you know, relationship stresses or money stresses that having certain privileges can take away, then it may be harder to come across as fun, bubbly on camera. If you're going through shit, you can't show that side of your personality. But then again, you know, some people use YouTube as escapisms and, you know, being able to film and escape from a bad situation can make them happy, so they can express happiness. So I guess, like I said, this argument isn't that strong, because for some people it could be the opposite effect, where they're going through something, but because they're making YouTube videos they are happier and they can therefore express themselves in a happy way. It's not a super strong argument, but it's something to keep in mind. I think I'm done. I should probably have said this in the beginning, but this video isn't meant to scare anyone into not starting a YouTube channel just because you feel like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, or maybe I won't be able to afford this and that. Please don't take this to say that no one's going to care about your videos or channel just because you don't have a certain life or you don't have certain things. Success within YouTube is 3 factors: the hard work, strategy, and then privilege. It's just that privilege doesn't get talked about enough. This video is merely just to open up a conversation that I don't think is being had enough. This is not meant to scare anyone from having a YouTube channel or start one if you want to start one this year. Having a YouTube channel is one of the best things I ever did for myself. I can't believe I lived life without one. It's literally like brought me so much joy and happiness. Since I started it consistently in 2019, it's been one of the highlights of like every single year since I started it. If it's for you, regardless of if you end up having YouTube success, if you enjoy it, that won't really matter. Like, you know, yeah, I kind of wish I had maybe had a bit more subscribers, kind of wish I was monetized at this stage, but you know what, the creativity I get to like express and the way I get to interact with people and the friends I've made, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just something to be aware of. Please make a channel if you've made a resolution to make a channel this year. To be honest, this isn't even so much for people wanting to start a channel. This is more so for people who, you know, the Molly Mayers. There are certain factors that make it easier for certain people, and that's just the truth. And to be like, oh, anyone can do it, like I managed to do it, why can't you? Like, that's not how it works. Don't let Molly May see this video. Let's not even start dragging Molly May. Let me just leave her to do whatever she wants to do. She can go live her 24 hours a day doing whatever she does, and I'll live mine doing this video, even though I'm finished this video. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you have any opinions or thoughts about anything I've said in this video, or any other types of privilege you may think comes from a YouTube channel that I didn't mention, then please comment down below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry also, I don't know how long this video is going to be. If you want to see more chatty videos from me, I don't do them a lot, but if you want to see more, then let me know. I don't know what else I talk about, but I'd like doing these videos. It's nice to like just like get thoughts out of my brain. I wouldn't do it in like a commentary channel kind of way, because those are much more like organized and researched. But yeah, I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some food for thought. I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Don't come at me with that type of insanity. You know that's that shit I don't need. Sometimes I feel like